Hello, guys. Today, and uh, and I also just got done eating some ice cream. So in case there's a little stain on my face, that's probably why. If I didn't see it, let me just grab my notes up. Um, let's see, screenshots. All right. So the movie Joker. Sorry, it was released this year in 2013, 2019. It's rated R. This is not a family movie by any means of the imagination. This is not a family movie. About 2 hours and 2 minutes long. Right now, it has 9.0 out IMDb by users with about 220,000 ish user votes. 221, I mean. And 59% on Metacritic, though, with about 58 critics. It stars Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro. Phoenix, you would know from the movie Her, and De Niro from many movies like Cape Fear, the Cape Fear remake. Movie was directed by Todd Phillips, who also uh, produced some comedies like Due Date and Old School. Now, the movie on Rotten Tomatoes has 68% by audiences, but it is certified fresh because when it was certified fresh, it had over 75, but it dropped after, but still maintained the certifiedness. And and 90% by audiences. And with the critic count is 455 critics, and the audience count is about 66,000 ish user people. The critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes is that Joker gives its infamous central character a chilling, plausible origin story that serves as a brilliant showcase for its star and a dark evolution for comics-inspired cinema. So, my thoughts. This movie was this movie is appealed to me on a very deep level that I haven't felt for a while. This movie reminded me of the first time I watched Taxi Driver. This movie is very Taxi Driver-ish. And Taxi Driver-ish. I also heard influences from the movie The King of Comedy, which I haven't seen but I've heard of. A lot of Scorsese stuff, a lot of late 70s, early 80s, really, really gritty movies with shocking violence and action and drama with a tad bit of weirdness. That's the Joker movie in a nutshell. And I read on trivia notes that the movie does take place in the year 1981, even though it's not the year is not mentioned in the movie. Um, so let's start with acting. Acting's fantastic. Joaquin Phoenix, when people say he's fantastic, he should get an Oscar for it. They're not joking. They're not exaggerating. He really is that good. I think the only thing with this movie is that it's I'll get to it in a little bit. It's not to follow the movie, it's to follow the fans. All right, acting's great, direction's fantastic. The writing's great. The screenplay is very good. I like it has a lot of great lines. It has some jokes too, which I like. I like that this Joker is funny. The thing when you do a version of the Joker is that he has to be funny. I mean, and that's kind of one of the few complaints about Heath Ledger's portrayal is that that Joker wasn't super funny, and I disagree with that though. He has a very dry sense of humor, if that makes any sense. It's super dry. And while the typical Joker performance, his jokes are a bit more bombastic. This Joker's jokes are more along those lines, but it fits though with that what he is though. Um, let's see. Hold on a sec. Oh, and direction's fantastic. This movie has a very consistent tone, and there's a lot of, and the story has some twists and turns in it too that work really well with Joker, with the character like the Joker. Um, this is a perfect movie to do this for because this movie is meant to kickstart a cinematic like side project for DC and Warner Brothers where they're gonna let directors and writers and whatnot take any number of their characters or a group of characters, whatever, and create and do their own spin and their own creative vision on them. That that is standalone. They're not a part of the main DCEU. They're kind of elseworld stories. They're just kind of little here's this or that. Now, however, this is why I have a problem with. There is a huge chunk of fans that wants this to be a part of something, a part of another movie universe or a part or a sequel or something. This is my problem with people nowadays. They want everything to be connected. They want everything to be like multiple films. And I don't know. I kind of like a movie that knows its limits and it's like, nope, we're just one movie. That's all you need. The thing with this movie, though, is that something happens in the climax. Something that I didn't think they would do, but they did. And they did it very well. And it does make me want to see more. Or it becomes something. And but it shouldn't though. I understand, especially with a movie like this. I do understand the desire to see more of this kind of thing. However, there really shouldn't be because it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be as good because the way this movie was made, it was made in the style of old school movies. In old school movies, your whole story was told within one movie. You didn't do sequels. You didn't do a universe. You did it all in one movie, and it lived and died by it. And that's the way it was. And a lot of great movies are like that. And I kind of miss that a little bit. I kind of miss that kind of solo, just oh, that's all you need is one movie. I don't. Sometimes it's nice not to commit to like a multi-film miniseries TV show project. Sometimes it's nice to be like, here's this movie, you watch it, you absorbed it, and you're good. You don't need more. And I miss that sometimes. And I like that they did it. They're trying to do it like this, but I feel like there's too much demand and the movie is racking up money. And and the and there's already talks of a Mr. Freeze solo film. Now, Mr. Freeze would work. That's the kind of character you could do something like that with. But I think you have all these directors and these creators. They're gonna. Well, my thinking is that they're gonna make these cool, well performed characters in their worlds, and they want to see them together. But the fact of the matter is that they don't belong together. and and yeah, I just think that I like what DC's doing though, because then you have different people play the same characters at the same time. You don't have to have one person play the character. You can do like for example, let's look at Marvel, for example. Like Marvel, I mean, Iron Man is done pretty much. We're not going to see Tony Stark as we're not going to see a Tony Stark Iron Man for a long time, if any. We might see other versions of Iron Man, like maybe a young kid or something, but we're not going to see the Iron Man. We're never going to see the Iron Man go against the actual Mandarin, not the Iron Man 3 Mandarin, the actual Mandarin. We're never ever going to see that. Unless they come up with some kooky shit, which I doubt. but maybe, but I doubt. And we're never going to see that. Now, if this was DC, like for example, if in DC, let's say in the main universe they said we're going to kill off Bruce Wayne Batman. And like, well, there's no Bruce Wayne or Batman anymore, so we're never going to see Ben Affleck's Batman go against Two-Face. We're never going to see that. However, because they allow the creativeness of it, there could be a director's like, you know what? I'm going to make my own Batman movie with my own characters, and I'm going to have him face off against Two-Face. And we see it. We get to see Bruce Wayne Batman face off against actual Two-Face. That is something that Marvel is not going to do. And that's the joy about DC is that DC is willing to be creative. And it's in every medium, that creativity that DC thrives in and engulfs itself in. Marvel does the opposite. That's a huge side note. But anyway, the point is that people want to see this movie be involved in multiple things where it doesn't, and it shouldn't, no matter how tempting it is. And yeah, if the right people are involved, maybe they could try to do something more. But I don't think this movie should be I don't think that this movie could kickstart its own universe if they wish to do so. But I don't think it should be a part of any universe. I don't think it should be a part of, because there's a lot of details in it that I can't really say on stream without giving away spoiler. The movie's still too new in theaters. I will say I did see this movie last Friday actually, and it took me with movies with a lot of movies I need some time for it to sit with me to think my thoughts, get my thoughts organized before I actually talk about it on camera. And but yeah, there's nothing in this film that's off. The only thing is that there might be one or two very, very small scenes that I felt like you could edit down a tad and it still be fine. But that is like the nitpickiest thing in the world. And even then, it didn't really get to me all that much. I was just thinking for other people what they would think. But it's a pretty awesome. The movie's kind of flawless. It's pretty flawless. I think with people obsessing over the violence, I'm like, they were obsessing over the violence in this. I mean, have you seen some of the 70s movies? 70s movies were just like this. Taxi Driver, oh my God, it had people killed like crazy, especially in the climax. I mean, freaking, I don't get the violence criticism. I really don't. I think it's overblown. I think what's getting to people isn't the amount of violence, it's the build up to it. Because what this movie does Joker so right. There are so many scenes where I'm just like, this is the Joker. This is him. They do a lot of that. Ironically, in a movie that tries very hard not to be a comic book movie, they still manage to get the comic book stuff right. Which The Dark Knight, the Nolan trilogy, also did pretty well, especially in the Dark Knight section of the trilogy. And yeah, I also, on a super side note, I have noticed that the longer the stream is, the tendency for it to have some issues. So I'm going to try to not take too long. Overall, the movie's, like I said, overall the movie's fantastic. I don't think there's any more I could say about it other than if you do watch it, I will say it does. There's some intense moments, and a lot of that is because the way the Joker's just so well. You don't really know when he's gonna do it. You don't know when he's gonna just, because the movie at any moment he can just lose his shit and just go on a crazy spree, but you don't know when. And those moments are scattered throughout the movie. So that's the thing, the movie, it's unpredictable. but you're with him because while the Joker is the biggest villain of all time, you have to expect some holy shitness from it because it's the Joker. But you also see things from his perspective because it's it's like that famous Joker quote, "All you need is one bad day," kind of thing. I wouldn't say it's exactly like that for this movie, but it's along those lines where all it takes is one bad day or bad short period of time or something or yeah. And that's kind of the thing with this movie is that it's really tries to really go in on the whole it's very if you love Joker, you're going to love this movie. If you don't do villains at all, probably not. But if you love the Joker, you'll love this movie. Simple as that. If you can't get enough of him, this is the perfect movie. And and I will say for sure, this isn't really a spoiler, but there is no Batman. And in all honesty, I don't really mind because here's the thing. I don't think I can't really see Batman without him interacting with the Joker. And originally I thought vice versa, but in all honesty, I could see the Joker without Batman. And then again, I feel like Batman's rogues gallery is so rich that I don't mind seeing him with other villains besides the Joker. That's kind of the one thing about the Batman stuff. The Batman and Joker rivalry gets played a lot. And you have to because it's the main thing, but I also want to see him against the other villains. I want to see some stories where he's just going against the Penguin or Two-Face or the Riddler or Bane or villains like that. There's so many. I don't really need every single battle or every 2 out of 3 battles against Joker. There's only so much you can do with that. But yeah, overall, I really, really, really enjoy this movie. It's very good, twists and turns. It's fantastic. The writing's great. The cinematography. Sorry, just cut out quickly. I'm gonna finish it. Like I was saying, the cinematography is fantastic. There's not really. It's a pretty great movie. I expect it to win something. Oscars are very fickle. I don't know if this movie will get Oscar nominated or anything or win an Oscar, but it'll be pretty close to it. And but yeah, I'm just gonna say it's a great movie. Check it out. It's still in theaters, and yeah. Uh, next movie theater reviews. I don't know. The Zombieland sequel's coming out, but I don't know if I'm gonna see that in theaters. There's a lot of stuff going on, so we'll just have to see on that. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.